Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathi. Today is Thursday, the 15th of February. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day yesterday. Hi, Renee. Thank you for joining me. Um, Tonight, I have an oldie but a goodie. We are going to make a Matchbook Fun Fold card. Now, this is a really easy fun fold that you can use with just about anything. I am going to be using the translucent florals bundle and matching paper, but at the end I'm going to show you two other cards. So I hope you'll stick with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see. And if you're with me live or catching me on the replay, leave me a comment. I appreciate you so much. That you have helped me grow my channel, and I just love being with you on Mondays and Thursdays. Hi, Mary. So I'm glad you had a good day in Indiana. So I am down and we're going to get started. Okay, hopefully you can see and hear me well. Like I said, we are going to use the translucent florals. One die and a couple of the stamps. I'm going to show you a technique when we do some of the stamping. And I'm also using a piece of paper from the Delightful Floral. This is the designer series paper that actually matches the bundle. And some of this paper actually can be die cut out with some of our dies. So I'm going to move these off and we're going to get started. Now, one other die set that I am using is the Nested Essentials. I love that die set. And you're going to see I'm going to be using this largest rectangle on the front of our card. So today we are using Blackberry Bliss. I love this color. It always seems like a winter color because it's so deep and rich. Hi, Fran. Thank you for joining us. But it just goes so beautifully with this paper. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and we are going to open it up. Because remember I said we're starting with a 4 1/4 by 11. Now this extends to 17 inches, so you have a lot of room. But for this card, we are going to score at 1 inch. So let's do that here. Now, you know you have two blades if you're new to stamping. Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for joining. You have the dark blade, which is the cutting, and then you have the scoring blade, which is for scoring your lines for folding. So we're going to score this at 1 inch, and I usually go a couple times over it. Then we're going to extend it to 6 1/4. Now 6 1/4 is really difficult to see, but I don't know if you can see this little white mark here. There is a 1/4 inch line if you look closely at your scoring, but it can be difficult to see. So I've made a little white mark there with a white pen, and I just use that to be able to find that score line. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and score this at 6 1/4. And now we can get rid of this. So we have a little bit more room. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for joining. So we now have a 4 1/4 by an 11 inch piece, and we are going to fold on our score lines. So the 1 inch is at the bottom, and I'm going to score into the fold. And I have a piece of scrap or a piece of index here. Index card, because this is a dark color and you can get it can be shiny. I am going to cover it with this piece of paper. You can use typing paper or copy paper. You can use a scrap piece of cardstock, and we're going to fold the 6 1/4 down. And I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and we're going to burnish this one. So just give it a good burnishing. Okay, so here's the basis for your matchbook card. Now, the matchbook can be down, it can be to the side, so whichever way you want to do it. We're going to do ours as a typical matchbook with down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of designer series paper. Now I'm using this one from the translucent florals, and this is cut at 4 by 4.5. Now don't worry about measurements. Hi Kim, thank you for joining. Because you're going to have a downloadable PDF. I will have the link right down below in my YouTube video description, or you'll be able to find it on my website tomorrow, Simply Cards by Kathi, by 10 a.m. And it's going to give you all of the dimensions and supplies, everything you need to recreate these cards. So there's our front. Now for my bottom, I'm going to add a piece of matching designer series paper. It's a solid from one of the other pieces, and it is 3/4 by 4. So we're going to go ahead and add that. But before we do, here's how I'm going to make my matchbook. So I'm going to grab and bend this in, and I had a stapler here that we're going to staple, and it actually walked off the desk. Yes. So, all right. So the stapler's gone. So here's what I'm going to show you can do. There's 2 ways to do it. One is to staple it and then put your piece of paper on there. The other is to add a little bit of glue. You can also use two-sided tape and add it right at the bottom, and then just adhere it to the cardstock. I just had that silly stapler too. So here's that. So you can see it's closed up now, and it's just like a matchbook. Now, if you were to staple it, I'd recommend you staple up a little bit right about here, and then you're going to add your designer series paper that's going to cover that. So let's go ahead and we're going to add this. Now I bring mine down so that I can match them up. So I'm going to tuck this underneath. There we go. And that way I can match end to end so that it looks nice and even. All right, here's the basis of our matchbook card. So next I want to decorate the front. So I'm going to go ahead, and I did cut that large square from the Nested Essentials, and I'm going to use 2 stamps. I'm going to use the large leaves, and I'm going to use the single smaller flower. So the colors I chose to use are Parakeet Party, Pretty Peacock, and Berry Burst. Reason being, they're all in this paper. I pulled them from my paper. Hi, Victoria, and thank you, Roberta, both for joining me. So I want to replicate or bring in both colors on my leaves, just like my paper has it. But I might switch up the placement of that Pretty Peacock. So let's move this away, and we are going to go ahead and open up our Pretty Peacock and open up our Parakeet Party, and move that so I don't ink it. Now with my big stamps, I always ink upside down. For me, I feel like I get more control doing that, and I feel I don't get the edges where I'm going to stamp off and make a mess. Now that's the Parakeet Party. Now to add to the edges, I'm going to take a dauber. This one is for my Parakeet Party. And I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to go lightly, and hopefully you can see that, lightly around the edges, just here and there. And I'm going to add a little bit in the center here, just like it is in the paper, and around this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and stamp. And I'm going to close up the pretty peacock. So I'm going to stamp off. So I'm not going to get the whole image, and that's okay with me. I wasn't looking to. And I'm just going to give it a good press and lift up. And here you can see that you have two different colors there. Hopefully you can see that. For joining me. I'm so happy to see you. Now we need a flower for that. So I'm going to use the single flower, and we're going to use that with Berry Burst. So let's open this up. Now this is a distinctive stamp set, and I love the distinctive stamps because I don't know if you can see the detail on it, but it really shows light and dark in the same image and like some shadowing. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to stamp this. And here's our Berry Burst flower. Now, I did do it ahead of time to try to save some time so that you weren't watching me die cut it. But if you were to die cut it and you're new, here's the die, and you're just going to place it on there and hold it. You're going to put it between two plates. If you were to be using the mini, and this is for anybody new, not used to the cut and emboss machine, you're going to use plate number 1, plate number 2, and then you're going to place your image on here, and you're going to cover it with another plate and run it through your die cut machine. And we have ours. So let's go ahead and add that. Now I want to pop this up. So I'm going to grab a couple dimensionals, and we're going to add it right on those leaves. I hope you have some fun plans for the weekend. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I love adding color with daubers. Sometimes I forget to do it, but it's such a neat way to add some accent points and add multicolors to your image. It really is a fun way. So I'm just going to add this right here. Now I need a greeting, and I'm going to use Happy Birthday. This is from the Translucent Florals set also. Even my inside greeting is going to be from there. And I am going to ink this up with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So, and then I'm just going to go right in that white spot and press down. So here's our focal point for our card. And we're going to pop this up with dimensionals also. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. I'm so glad you enjoy them. I have so much fun making them for you. I really look forward to my Mondays and Thursday evenings, spending it with all of you. So thank you for joining me. So let's pop this on the front, and we'll go ahead and add this. So let me peel these off. Do you have these all over the house? I know I do. In fact, I have 2 Goldens, and Bailey was walking around with one of these on his nose today. So I guess I couldn't count on him to clean them up. So we're going to place this here, and then we're going to do the inside of our card. Now the inside is also for, oh, that came apart. Let's add a little bit more glue to it. And again, the stapler works wonders. So we're going to add a strip to this. I already prepared it. It is a 1/2-inch strip of the Blackberry Bliss with a 3/8-inch strip of the Designer Series paper that matches what we put on the front. And this is one of my favorite ways to add some interest or design to the inside of my card. And I typically leave a little bit on the edge just because I like the white border. Now I'm going to grab my memento, and our greeting says, wishing you so much on this special day. So I'm going to ink this up, and let's stamp this. I'm going to make sure this is straight. There we go. Looks pretty good. And let's adhere this to the card. So on the other cards I'm going to show you, I actually did staple them. And I was so well prepared today. I had everything ready to go, but I don't know where that stapler went to. It was sitting here a minute ago. So here's our inside. And here's how your matchbook. Tuck it in. Oh, it tucks right in there. There we go. Tuck it in, and let's add a butterfly to that. I'm going to bring in my brushed brass butterflies, and I'm just going to add a single one right there. So here's our matchbook card. So let me bring in and show you two more. Now, one of them is very similar. It's just different designer series paper. So you can see all you do is tuck it in. And then this one is out of the Latte Love bundle. I love that bundle. And you can see I used two different designer series papers. And I did cut out one of the, looking down on the top of one of the cups from the designer's paper for my focal point. So there's a lot you can do with these. Like I said, you could even make it so that the matchbook part is on the side and that you lock it into place that way. So let me bring you back to me. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Mary. Let me bring you back. Thanks, Kathy. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. Like I said, it is an oldie, but it really is a goodie, and lots you can do with it. You can even do some embossing instead of using designer series paper on the top. So I hope you have a great weekend. I will miss you, but I will see you on Monday evening at 7 o'clock. You take care and stay safe. Bye, everybody.